Moving Tips by SS&D The Movers. Moving date. Know when you plan to move and if you are flexible. In many cases, moving companies may offer a discount to customers who are moving on a weekday in the middle of the month versus a weekend at the end of the month. This is simply due to supply and demand. Most leases are finished at the end of each month, and moving companies know this. Therefore, they charge a premium come final week of each month. Where are you going? Know where you plan to move. Will you be moving into an apartment, a house, a townhouse, or a walk-up? Oftentimes, a 2-bedroom apartment can take just as long as a 3-bedroom house because the movers are limited to the elevator space. In addition, know where your unit is situated in the building. This will give you a better understanding of the walking distance from the loading zone to the elevator to your unit. One of the biggest misconceptions about moving is that an apartment move is quicker than a house move. Though at times this may be true, it is simply not always the case. There is a significant amount of walking distance associated with an apartment or a walk-up, whereas in a household move, movers can often park the truck just outside the house. What to move? Make sure you have a clear understanding of what you want to take with you to your new home and what you plan on keeping behind. Will you be taking the appliances? If so, which ones? This is important because it allows you to get a more accurate quote come moving time. It is also important because it will allow the movers to bring the appropriate size truck needed to complete the move in one trip. Truck sizes often come in 16, 18, and 26 foot. Bigger trucks are not always the best way to go, as they often have a premium rate attached to them and are too large to park in the location closest to the exit. Packing. The most important thing to do before moving is to be properly packed. The way a home is packed before the movers get there is the biggest factor affecting the length of time it takes to complete a move. This means having beds disassembled, mirrors removed from dressers, washers and dryers disconnected, and all other items which may require disassembly. Of course, most moving companies will perform these duties. However, to reduce the total cost of your move, you may want to complete these simple tasks. Size up your new home. Make sure you have the dimensions of certain doors and hallways. In some cases, items which may have fit in your previous home do not fit in the new one. In addition, make sure the items you are moving fit into that room. More often than not, there is simply not enough space at a new home to accommodate for all of the items from the previous home. Therefore, the movers are left looking for a place to position the items. Item placement. One way to reduce the time it takes for your move to be completed is to have the majority of your items in the room closest to the exiting door. This will allow the movers to quickly come in and out without traveling from the basement to the bedrooms. In addition, ask the moving company which items they prefer to load first. This way you can place those items closest to the front of the door, so that the movers are not searching for them. More often than not, boxes are normally the first items to be loaded. Therefore, keep them at the front of the room. Asking the right questions. When it comes to looking for the best moving company, make sure to ask these 5 questions. What is your rate? Rates are generally charged by the hour. When does the time start and end? Oftentimes, companies charge from the time they leave the office to the time they return. What size crew will you bring? This will be determined by the size of your move. For smaller moves, 2 men is generally enough, whereas for larger moves, it is always better to go with 3 men so that the guys do not get fatigued. How will you bill? Many companies round their total to the nearest hour. Therefore, a move that may take them 3 hours and 15 minutes will be charged for 4 hours. What is your minimum charge? A lot of companies have a minimum charge, whether it is a minimum hourly rate or a total minimum charge. It is important to know what the minimum is. If you follow these simple tips, you will be sure to have a more successful and cost-effective move.